Spring Morning of Spring Morning. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by AnnaLisa Bodtker. Spring Morning by Frances Cornford. Now the moisty wood discloses wrinkled leaves of primroses, while the birds they flute and sing. Build your nests, for here is spring. All about the open hills daisies shew their peasant frills, washed and white and newly spun, for a festival of sun. Like a blossom from the sky drops a yellow butterfly, dancing down the hedges gray, snow-bestrewn till yesterday. Squirrels skipping up the trees smell how spring is in the breeze, while the birds they flute and sing. Build your nests, for here is spring. End of Spring Morning. Recording by AnnaLisa Bodtker. A Recollection of Spring Morning by Frances Cornford. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. My father's friend came once to tea. He laughed and talked, he spoke to me. But in another week, they said, that friendly pink-faced man was dead. How sad, they said, the best of men. So I said too, how sad. But then, deep in my heart I thought with pride, I know a person who has died. End of A Recollection. Recording by AnnaLisa Bodtker. Youth and Age of Spring Morning by Frances Cornford. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Say, is it dim and grim and all full of fear? Not at all, my pretty dear. Will there be no hope, nothing to desire? You shall be comforted sitting by the fire. Will no one look at me, love me, if I please? You shall doze happy with a little bread and cheese. Even the springing grass, will it look pale? You shall be gladdened with a little warm ale. Shall I be trembling and querulous of tongue? You shall be wiser than anybody young. When the first thrushes sing, shall I not hear? Not at all, my pretty dear. End of Youth and Age. Recording by AnnaLisa Bodtker. A Child's Dream of Spring Morning by Frances Cornford. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. I had a little dog, and my dog was very small. He licked me in the face, and he answered to my call. Of all the treasures that were mine, I loved him most of all. His nose was fresh as morning dew, and blacker than the night. I thought that it could even snuff the shadows and the light. And his tail, he held it bravely, like a banner in a fight. His body covered thick with hair was very good to smell. His little stomach underneath was pink as any shell. And I loved him and honored him more than words can tell. We ran out in the morning, both of us, to play, up and down across the fields for all the sunny day. But he ran so swiftly, he ran right away. I looked for him, I called for him entreatingly. Alas, the dandelions could not speak, though they had seen him pass, and nowhere was his waving tail among the waving grass. I called him in 1,000 ways, and yet he did not come. The pathways and the hedges were horrible and dumb. I prayed to God, who never heard. My desperate soul grew numb. The sun sank low. I ran. I prayed, if God has not the power to find him, let me die. I cannot bear another hour. When suddenly I came upon a great yellow flower, and all among its petals, such was heaven's grace, in that golden hour, in that golden place, all among its petals was his hairy face. End of A Child's Dream. Recording by AnnaLisa Bodtker. To a Fat Lady Seen from the Train of Spring Morning by Frances Cornford. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Oh, why do you walk through the fields in gloves, missing so much and so much? Oh, fat white woman who nobody loves, why do you walk through the fields in gloves when the grass is soft as the breast of doves and shivering sweet to the touch? Oh, why do you walk through the fields in gloves, missing so much and so much? End of To a Fat Lady Seen from the Train. Recording by AnnaLisa Bodtker. A Wasted Day of Spring Morning by Frances Cornford. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. I spoiled the day, hotly, in haste. All the calm hours I gashed and defaced. Let me forget, let me embark, sleep for my boat, and sail through the dark, till a new day heaven shall send, whole as an apple, kind as a friend. End of A Wasted Day. Recording by AnnaLisa Bodtker. In France of Spring Morning by Frances Cornford. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. The poplars in the fields of France are golden ladies come to dance, but yet to see them there is none but I and the September sun. The girl who in their shadow sits can only see the socks she knits. Her dog is watching all the day that not a cow shall go astray. The leisurely contented cows can only see the earth they browse, their piebald bodies through the grass with busy munching noses pass. Alone the sun and I behold processions crowned with shining gold, the poplars in the fields of France, like glorious ladies, come to dance. End of In France. Recording by AnnaLisa Bodtker. The Old Witch in the Copse of Spring Morning by Frances Cornford. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. I am a witch, and a kind old witch, there's many a one knows that. Alone I live in my little dark house with Pillycock, my cat. A girl came running through the night when all the winds blew free. Oh, mother, change a young man's heart that will not look on me. Oh, mother, brew a magic mead to stir his heart so cold. Just as you will, my dear, said I, and I thank you for your gold. So here am I in the wattled copse where all the twigs are brown, to find what I need to brew my mead as the dark of night comes down. Primroses in my old hands, sweet to smell and young, and violets blue that spring in the grass wherever the larks have sung. with celandines as heavenly crowns, yellowy gold and bright. All of these, oh, all of these shall bring her love's delight. But orchids growing snaky green, speckled dark with blood, and fallen leaves that curled and shrank and rotted in the mud, with blistering nettles burning harsh and blinding thorns above. All of these, oh, all of these shall bring the pains of love. Shall bring the pains of love, my puss, that cease not night or day. The bitter rage naught can assuage till it bleeds the heart away. Pillycock mine, my hands are full, my pot is on the fire. Purr, my pet, this fool shall get her fool's desire. End of The Old Witch in the Copse. Recording by AnnaLisa Bodtker. In Dorset, of Spring Morning by Frances Cornford. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. From muddy road to muddy lane I plodded through the falling rain. For miles and miles was nothing there but mist and mud and hedges bare. At length approaching I espied two gypsy women side by side. They turned their faces, broad and bold and brown and freshened by the cold, and stared at me in gypsy wise with shrewd, unfriendly, savage eyes. No word they said, no more dared I, and so we passed each other by, the only living things that met in all those miles of mist and wet. End of In Dorset. Recording by AnnaLisa Bodtker. The Watch of Spring Morning by Frances Cornford. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. I wakened on my hot, hard bed. Upon the pillow lay my head. Beneath the pillow I could hear my little watch was ticking clear. I thought the throbbing of it went like my continual discontent. I thought it said in every tick, I am so sick, so sick, so sick. Oh, death, come quick, come quick, come quick, come quick, come quick, come quick, come quick. End of The Watch. Recording by AnnaLisa Bodtker. People of Spring Morning by Frances Cornford. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Like two islands in the seas stand our personalities, islands where we always face one another's watering place. When we promenade our sands, we can hear each other's bands. We can see on festal nights red and green and purple lights, gilt pavilions in a row, stucco houses built for show. But our eyes can never reach further than the foolish beach. Never can they hope to win to the fastnesses within. Rocks unsealed that watch the sky and the tormented clouds go by. Darkest forests full of gleams ever passing, pouring streams, chasms where a monster lowers, sweet and unimagined flowers. End of People. Recording by AnnaLisa Bodtker. Dawn of Spring Morning by Frances Cornford. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. So begins the day, solid, chill and gray, but my heart will wake, happy, for your sake. No more tossed and wild, singing like a child, quiet as a flower in this first gray hour. So my heart will wake, happy, for your sake. End of Dawn. Recording by AnnaLisa Bodtker. Mountains of Spring Morning by Frances Cornford. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Mountains, mountains in the morning, great beasts backed with stainless snow, rocks which even the hawks have not visited, vast blue shadows climbing up their gullies, magnificence, magnificence of blue shadows. Child unknown who shall be mine hereafter, your heart too shall leap at the sight of the mountains, the peaks and their shadows in the morning, uncaring for me or for any man, even as my heart has slept, uncaring. End of Mountains. Recording by AnnaLisa Bodtker. A Peasant Woman of Spring Morning by Frances Cornford. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. I saw you sit waiting with your sewing on your knees till a man should claim the comfort of your body and your industry and presence for his own. I saw you sit waiting with your sewing on your knees till the child growing hidden in your body should become a living creature in the light. I saw you sit waiting with your sewing on your knees till your child who had ventured to the city should return to the shelter of his home. I saw you sit waiting with your sewing on your knees. Your unreturning son was in the city till death should come along the cobbled street. I saw you sit waiting with your sewing on your knees. End of A Peasant Woman. Recording by AnnaLisa Bodtker. Autumn Morning at Cambridge of Spring Morning by Frances Cornford. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. I ran out in the morning when the air was clean and new, and all the grass was glittering and gray with autumn dew. I ran out to the apple tree and pulled an apple down, and all the bells were ringing in the old gray town. Down in the town, off the bridges and the grass, they are sweeping up the leaves to let the people pass, sweeping up the old leaves, golden reds and browns, while the men go to lecture with the wind in their gowns. End of Autumn Morning at Cambridge. Recording by AnnaLisa Bodtker. Autumn Evening of Spring Morning by Frances Cornford. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. The shadows flickering, the daylight dying, and I upon the old red sofa lying, the great brown shadows leaping up the wall, the sparrows twittering, and that is all. I thought to send my soul to far-off lands where fairies scamper on the windy sands, or where the autumn rain comes drumming down on huddled roofs in an enchanted town. But oh, my sleepy soul, it will not roam. It is too happy and too warm at home, with just the shadows leaping up the wall, the sparrows twittering, and that is all. End of Autumn Evening. Recording by AnnaLisa Bodtker. At Night of Spring Morning by Frances Cornford. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. On moony nights the dogs bark shrill down the valley and up the hill. There's one is angry to behold, the moon so unafraid and cold, who makes the earth as bright as day, but yet unhappy, dead and grey. Another in his strawy lair says, "Who's a-howling over there? By heavens, I will stop him soon from interfering with the moon." So back he barks, with throat upthrown, "You leave our moon alone." And other distant dogs respond, beyond the fields, beyond. End of At Night. Recording by AnnaLisa Bodtker. End of Spring Morning by Frances Cornford.